If you're anything like me, you worry way too much before, while, after speaking English. You worry about whether you're gonna make these silly grammatical mistakes. You worry about how other people would think of you. You worry about whether you're worrying way too much. Let me tell you, absolutely yes, you dumbass. Stop worrying already, okay? Just kidding. You want to have this perfect confidence. You want to be impervious to opinions. Just be yourself and stop giving a fuck of how other people would think of you, so that you can just go speak English, say whatever you want. But the moment you open your mouth, you realize what a dumbass you sound like. And now we're back to square one. So how do you overcome the fear of speaking English? Get a cup of tea. I don't have one, so that's a mouthwash. Let's get started. The harsh truth is, you fear speaking English because you got nothing better to give a fuck about. Let me explain. So anxiety works in a way by sucking your attention. When you're anxious, all you can think of is this anxiety. So your mental space is literally filled up with anxiety, and you couldn't think of anything else but fear. It's screaming at you. You literally couldn't do anything without fear being in your face. When you spend too much time worrying and thinking about how other people would think of you, what if questions, it actually hurts your chance of taking action. It goes like, if I don't speak, I'm not gonna make any mistakes and people won't laugh at me, so let me just shut up. Smart, perfect logic. But, there's always a but. If that's what you choose to do, you get stuck. You never improve because you're not doing anything, right? So the real solution to overcoming the fear of speaking English is actually not by denying or suppressing this negative feeling. It's actually by switching attention from anxiety to something or somebody that worth giving a fuck about. So when you're anxious and you tell yourself, oh, stop being so anxious, stop acting so weird, and your brain starts even racing faster. It's like when you're having trouble falling asleep and you tell your brain, stop thinking about this and that, and you start thinking about all of these things even harder. By suppressing it, you actually make the situation worse. So what you're gonna do is not suppress this feeling. It's actually by, okay, I see you're there and I acknowledge that, and let me just think about something else. Maybe take a couple of deep breaths and focus on your breath. All of a sudden you calm down because now you're not thinking about anxiety as much because a lot of your attention is now given to your breath. Better if you can switch attention to the topic that you're talking about or the people that you're having a conversation with and focus on that, and you may realize, oh, that's pretty interesting, I've never thought about that. That's a brilliant idea, I want to find out more. And next thing you know, you're asking a whole lot of questions because now you're curious, you're not anxious anymore, you're focusing on something else. Does fear disappear? No, it's still there, you're just not thinking about it. And that's the way to overcome the fear of speaking English. It's not by telling yourself, I'm not afraid. It's about becoming aware of your inner thinking and what you are actually giving your attention to, gaining that control over your attention. Fear is still there. It just doesn't as loud and deafening as they used to be. The more you spend time hanging out with anxiety and accept their existence, and the more you calmly observe your anxiety, the further away they fade. It becomes this muffled sound you barely hear. It quiets down and no longer dictates what you're gonna do next. It's still there, yelling at you, screaming at you, but it's fun because it moves from the driver's seat to the back seat. Now you are in control, you are in the driver's seat driving a bus. It yells at you, but now you have the ability to yell back like, I heard you, motherfucker, shut the fuck up. I do whatever I want, to shut the fuck up. And it quiets down. Because now you have the ability to allocate your attention to something else that's worth giving a fuck about. By acknowledging and accepting anxiety and fear, and switch your attention to focus on something else that's positive, worth giving a fuck about. You reduce fear from this deafening sound, the only sound that you were able to hear, to this muffled little sounds you barely hear. I got a question for you guys. Did I just wake up one morning and randomly think, oh, let me just do some videos and put myself out there, voice my opinions on language learning and whatever topics? Did I just do that? Hell no. I was scared as shit. Like, it was so scary. I literally spent, I don't know, maybe half to a year to convince myself to put myself out there, because I'm a contradiction. I'm introverted. I'm a really private person. I barely do social media, but I like sharing my ideas, so I want to voice my opinions. So yeah, like I said, I'm a contradiction. So I spent literally a year to convince myself, because I'm afraid of how people would think of me. How could I put myself in such a vulnerable position, letting haters dragging me to hell? Did I just casually turn it on and start talking to the camera? No, I'm nervous every single time talking to the fucking camera. But what I decided to do is to stop paying attention and stop focusing on those negative comments or haters, but rather give my attention to the topic that I'm actually talking about, and focus on how this might potentially help some people. Not everyone, but some people. So the fear, anxiety is still there, especially, when my life got busy. I was doing something else, and then I came back, and I haven't done like a video in like 20 or 30 days. I felt this anxiety and fear very strongly, its existence. I got reminded every time. But now I have the ability to make my decision about what I'm giving my attention to. And same with speaking English. There will be like a super judgmental people out there, like a lot of them. Like, you pronounce this word wrong, I used the wrong words, and blah, 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 blah. It goes on and on, right? People are pretty picky, and some people even say, like, you sound like a Chinese. I mean, what is wrong with that? Look at me, I'm a Chinese. What is wrong with a Chinese person carrying a Chinese accent? I don't get it, but people say whatever they want, right? This is not throwing shade to anybody, because in a sense, we are all judgmental. But the thing is, you can make that decision about what you want to focus on. And I encourage everyone to go out and figure out something or somebody that's worth giving a fuck about, and give your attention to that instead of the opposite. Yeah, you. Everybody who's still watching this video, I hope you are not haters, and I just want to say, you get to choose what you want to focus on, what you want to give your attention to. You get to choose what you want to give a fuck about. Bye.